y'all. Welcome to another webisode of my story. So, I just talked about how I got married and about how it was life-changing and it was kind of a shock. And honestly, I feel like it was a shock for me, but it was really a shock for Dave because he wasn't expecting. I don't know. I think it's easier for women to move into the role of wife than it is for men to move into the role of husband. And I think that he kind of got a shock with that. I kind of got jealous because I found out that he was still talking to some girlfriends back home, just girls that he grew up with. You know, he never was with them, but they were friends and they were girls. And he would say things like, "You're so sexy, you're so pretty," and I got so angry and I'm like, "You're my husband now. You shouldn't be doing that." And he agreed, you know. He was like, "Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry that I was like that." And I was like, "Okay." So it was kind of strange, but yeah, at first, you know, I was in charge of all the money and had this paycheck coming in and I didn't know what to do with it, so I was just putting it in savings. And then, you know, I ended up getting a house, a really nice house, which, I mean, we still had a lot of money left over just after paying all the bills on the house. So it was like really cool. I ended up, because I was pregnant and it was the first baby I had money with. My other two babies, you know, they never had a crib, they never had a bassinet, they never really had these things because I really couldn't afford it. Well, my first baby did have a crib. My second baby never did. But it was given to us. But anyway, I go out and, you know, I'm buying all this stuff, all this baby stuff. You know, I bought, you know, it was my first time that I could. And I don't know, I did go a little bit crazy with it. But I spent all the money on our baby. So is that so bad? Anyway, I was excited. I was so happy. I mean, I don't know, I was living on cloud nine. Yeah, so we had it planned that he would come home the week of my due date, but I have never made my due date ever. So we decided that, well, we didn't decide actually. He had the opportunity. One of the guys was like, "Hey, why don't you take my leave? Isn't your wife pregnant?" And I don't know why it was just, I guess it was 2 weeks apart or something. But anyway, he got to come home 2 weeks earlier. And I wasn't going to complain. I was like, I'm going to be happy that you're with me anyway. But while he was home on leave, I did actually end up going into labor. Yeah, I kind of induce labor a little bit because I know everything that you can do to induce labor, and I knew that my baby would be okay. It wasn't right at the beginning of leave, it was like in the middle of leave, and I ate spicy food, and we did stuff in the bedroom, and I would pump my breast. I mean, everything you can do. I was like walking to induce labor, everything you can do. And the next day I wake up and I feel like I'm in labor. And one of the ways that you can tell Braxton Hicks from labor, because I had a lot of Braxton Hicks with this last child, one of the ways you can tell is you go and you relax. You try to relax somewhere. You just relax into it. And if you cannot relax out of your Braxton Hicks, you're probably in labor. So I went to relax, and there was no relaxing out of them. And I've been relaxing out of Braxton Hicks for 2 months now. And I was not relaxing out of it. And sure enough, I pass the mucus plug. So I know that I'm in labor. And so I call my mom, and she's really cool. She drives out to my house to watch my baby and my toddler. And me and him, we go to the hospital, and I'm really worried because of the way that my second daughter's birth went. I'm a little bit nervous, and I'm very firm with, I'm in labor. I'm going to be having this baby today, and I'm going to do it my way. And so I like go in to tell them that, and like I can't really completely walk whenever I could walk between contractions whenever we were getting there. And so they put me down on this monitor and they look at me, do all their checking and everything, and they say, sure enough, you're in labor. And so whenever they said that, it made me feel so much better. I just relaxed. I was like, yes, I am in actual labor. Thank you. And I just told her, I said, I want to have natural childbirth. And they said, okay, you can do that. And so I was like, well, I'm dilated to 4. I know that it's going to be a long time. Like, we're talking hours and hours and hours before I'm even dilated 7. So I would like to go for a walk and maybe even leave the hospital. And they were like, that's fine. You know that you're in labor. That's fine. You're right. It's going to be hours. No big deal. So they were really chill with everything. It was really awesome. And so I go with him and we go to Sonic, and I get me a thing full of Sonic ice and water. I'm just munching on that, and we go to my brother's place, and because my brother still had his place at the apartments, and we all sit down, we roll joints, and we smoke joints because we were in a state where it was legal, and I guess it was fine then, but that's the only medicine that I use. So for me, I was like, I'm going to use, it's like my medicine of choice. I don't know what to tell you guys, not everybody experiences life like me. But I did. I smoked a joint while walking around. I remember in my brother's apartment, I'm walking around the island, and they're all sitting down chill, and they're like, I can't believe you're like having a baby. And I'm like, I know, I'm having a baby, and just walking around this thing and smoking and all chill and everything. And then I'm like, just walking around this ain't fun no more. So I told Dave to, let's go walk around the baseball field. And we did. We just walked around the bases and we talked, and he held my hand, and it was just so beautiful. And then things started getting more and more intense. They just keep getting more intense. And I told him that the way that he can support me, like every time that I would have like a big contraction, I wanted to just bear down and squat, like do these squats. So it felt better whenever he would hold my hands, and like I could just pull his hands, but he would pull them up. And so that's what we would do with every contraction. And it was like he was a part of it. You guys, he had been in war, and he had these horrible blisters on his feet, and I didn't know it at the time, but he just kept walking with me even though he had these horrible blisters, and he didn't show any pain at all. He was just there and supportive of me. I almost want to cry thinking about it, because it's so amazing, because I didn't have that with Zach or my other two at all. But he started getting more and more intense, and so I was like, it's time to go to the hospital. And so we go to the hospital, and we're walking around on the outside now, and people are like, do y'all need help? We need to get a wheelchair. They're freaking out. But no, I'm trying to have natural childbirth here, and that takes time, and so the people were annoying the crap out of me. I was like, let's just go to the room. And we go to the room, and they have like the bouncing ball thing. I sit on that for like a couple seconds, and I'm like, no way. And I just start pacing the floors and everything. And then I was so lucky because in the way that they do the Army hospital, there's 4 or 5 OBGYNs and that can deliver the baby. And it's just whoever is on call when you go into labor or whenever you have your baby. If you schedule it, you can schedule it with the one you want. But if you're going to do it naturally, like I want to, it's whatever one you get. And I got my favorite one. She was my favorite. And she was like, I'm so excited for this childbirth. I'm so excited for you. You're doing it natural. She's like, you're the only one on the ward doing it natural. So, but she's like, I'm excited for you. And I'm like, yay, I'm excited for me too. And so, yeah, I mean, and I had been, whenever we got up there, I got dilated to pretty much 7 by then, and the ride's on, and I'm thinking it's not going to be much longer. But it was hours later. And let's see, I started this journey. I mean, I can't say it was that bad. I can't. Other women have had far worse. But this was my most intensive labor. It started that morning. Yeah, by 7 o'clock, I was dilated to 7, but I wasn't pushing until 10 o'clock that night. That's whenever we started pushing. Well, it was 9 o'clock that night. I started pushing at 9 o'clock. And I mean, with my first daughter, it was like, I had an epidural, first of all, and I was drugged. I was on all kinds of fancy drugs, like Demerol, and I don't know, all kinds of stuff. I was really, really drugged on chemical type drugs. And whenever we got to the pushing phase, they were like, push, and I looked at the clock, and then I watched it, and it was literally 20 minutes from push to baby. And whenever my second baby came in false labor, it was like no time at all. Once you get to the pushing, you're going to have the baby. So at 9 o'clock, whenever we got to the pushing, I knew that we would have the baby. And then it's 9:30 and I'm still pushing. And then it's 10 and I'm still pushing. And then it's like moving on 10:30 and I'm still pushing. And so I'm getting scared. I'm exhausted. I'm in the pushing phase for like almost 2 hours now. I'm totally exhausted and I'm scared. I'm thinking, what's going wrong? What is going wrong? What was happening is the baby, her head was coming out, but they're normally faced up coming out. She was faced sideways, so her everything was, it was going through the birth canal sideways and not, you know, it's not a big complication at birth. It's a small complication, but I didn't know that then. And so I realized, like, I'm like, is anything wrong? And the doctor's like, no, 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 everything's going great. You're going great. Just keep going. And I'm just like, okay. I realized that I'm exhausted. I'm just totally exhausted. But I realized that I've got to focus and push through. That I will get there if I just focus and push through. And there was, I feel so bad, but there was this intern, and I was all cool with her being there. You know, I was cool with everybody. The whole doctor team, it was so much fun, like everything. But she had on glasses, and she was looking at me, and I saw that I could see down there through her glasses. I could see the reflection. And that reflection, and watch it dilate, and I could see her head. I could see the head coming out and everything. And that gave me a focus point. So I was focusing intently on the reflection in her glasses and just breathing and focusing, just deep focus into her eyes pretty much. But I was seeing the reflection in her glasses. Just deep focus and just you know, and I delivered my baby. And as soon as the baby came out, I looked at the face of this poor intern, you guys. Oh my gosh, she was just, I mean, Casper White. Just, but I'm so grateful that she was there, because it was the reflection in her glasses that got me to truly focus. My baby came out, and because of the way that she was turned, and my bones, my hip bone, literally, she had a bruise down this side of her body. The whole side of her body was bruised from her childbirth. Bless the ever-loving heart of my baby girl. Oh my goodness, but my husband was right there beside me the whole entire time, and kind of in shock and amazing, he held her, and watching him hold her, not being like, you're a dirty slut, but being like, wow, look, babe, we made this. It's transformative. It's crazy. I truly felt like we're moving into heaven on earth. It's pretty cool. Pretty cool stuff. So, yeah, guys, that's it. That's what I got for you today. I had my third baby and it was magical. It was tough. It was hard. It was intense and it was magical. So 10 out of 10, I would recommend. So anyway, oh my goodness. I love you guys so much. Thank you for watching and listening to my crazy story. Thank you for being here. I do pray that you are all blessed with so much love. And yes, as always, be blessed with love. That's all she got.